The blazing sun of the Saudi desert hung high in the sky as thousands of fans gathered around a massive sand arena built especially for one of the strangest and most exciting competitions anyone had ever imagined. This was not a football stadium, not a boxing ring, and not a racing circuit. Instead, it was a traditional desert camel racing track surrounded by endless golden dunes. The crowd buzzed with excitement because two of the greatest football legends in history were about to face each other in a challenge that no one could have predicted. On one side stood Cristiano Ronaldo, confident, focused, and ready for competition. On the other side stood Lionel Messi, calm and smiling as always, but clearly determined to win. The story began when both legends were invited to the desert by a group of wealthy sports organizers who wanted to create the most entertaining race ever seen. Instead of cars or horses, the race would feature camels, the true kings of the desert. News of the bizarre competition spread across social media within hours, and soon fans from around the world were watching live broadcasts of the event. Some people laughed at the idea, while others were genuinely curious to see which football icon would adapt better to racing across the harsh desert sands. When Messi arrived at the arena, the crowd gasped. His camel was magnificent, tall, muscular, and clearly trained for racing. Its golden-brown coat shined under the sunlight, and it stood proudly with calm confidence. Experienced camel trainers walked beside it, adjusting its saddle and preparing it for the race. The animal looked powerful, fast, and perfectly suited for desert competition. Messi gently patted the camel's neck, whispering something to it as if they already understood each other. A few minutes later, Ronaldo entered the arena, and the crowd's reaction was very different. His camel looked weak and skinny compared to Messi's champion racer. Its legs were thin, its posture uncertain, and it seemed nervous in the noisy stadium. Some spectators began laughing, while others shook their heads in disbelief. How could one of the most competitive athletes in the world arrive with such an unprepared animal? Even the commentators began questioning Ronaldo's chances. Messi noticed the difference immediately but remained respectful. He simply smiled and waved to the fans, climbing confidently onto his camel. Ronaldo, however, looked slightly frustrated. He knew people were doubting him, and that was something he had faced many times during his career. Throughout his life, critics had underestimated him, yet he had always found a way to prove them wrong. The race officials signaled for both competitors to move to the starting line. The camels knelt briefly as the riders positioned themselves, gripping the saddles and adjusting their balance. The desert wind blew softly across the dunes, carrying grains of sand across the track. Cameras zoomed in from every angle as millions of viewers around the world prepared to watch this strange but thrilling showdown. 3, 2, 1, the starting horn blasted across the desert. Messi's camel exploded forward like a rocket. Its long legs moved with powerful rhythm, kicking sand behind it as it surged ahead. Within seconds, Messi had taken a huge lead. His camel was clearly trained for racing, gliding smoothly over the dunes with incredible speed and balance. Meanwhile, Ronaldo's camel struggled from the very beginning. It moved awkwardly, stumbling slightly on the soft sand. The gap between the two racers grew larger and larger. The crowd watched in surprise as Messi raced far ahead while Ronaldo bounced slowly across the track, trying desperately to encourage his camel to move faster. Commentators shouted excitedly as Messi approached the finish line almost effortlessly. The powerful camel crossed the line with ease, and the crowd erupted in cheers. Messi raised his arm in victory while photographers captured the moment. It was a dominant win, and the scoreboard confirmed what everyone had seen: Messi had crushed Ronaldo in the first camel race. Ronaldo finally reached the finish line long after Messi had already celebrated. Some spectators laughed, and social media exploded with jokes and memes. For Ronaldo, the defeat was humiliating. But if there was one thing the world knew about him, it was that he never accepted defeat easily. Instead of leaving the desert in disappointment, Ronaldo quietly made a decision. He would return stronger. In the following days, Ronaldo stayed in the desert with his camel and a group of experienced trainers. While Messi returned to his hotel and enjoyed the celebration, Ronaldo began an intense training program. Early every morning, he rode the camel across long desert distances, slowly building its endurance. Trainers improved its diet, strengthened its muscles, and taught it proper racing techniques. Under the blazing sun, Ronaldo pushed himself and the camel to their limits. They climbed dunes, sprinted across flat sand, and practiced turning sharply around desert markers. At first the camel was slow and clumsy, but over time something incredible began to happen. Its body became stronger. Its legs moved faster. Its confidence grew. Weeks passed, and the once skinny camel transformed into a powerful desert racer. Ronaldo could feel the difference every time they trained. The animal responded to his commands quickly and moved with increasing speed. Word began spreading among the trainers that Ronaldo's camel had become something special. Eventually Ronaldo sent a message to Messi with only a few simple words: rematch. Messi laughed when he first heard about the challenge, but he accepted immediately. After all, competition had always been the heart of their legendary rivalry. Soon the desert arena filled again with thousands of spectators. This time the excitement was even greater because nobody knew what would happen. Would Messi dominate again, or had Ronaldo truly transformed his camel into a competitor? As the two legends arrived at the track once more, the crowd noticed the difference instantly. Ronaldo's camel looked completely different from before. Its muscles were stronger, its posture confident, and its eyes focused on the track ahead. Even Messi seemed surprised when he saw it. Both racers moved to the starting line again, the tension in the stadium rising higher than ever. The desert wind grew stronger, swirling sand across the arena as if nature itself wanted to watch the race. The horn sounded again. This time the race was completely different. Both camels burst forward with explosive speed. Messi's experienced racer still moved beautifully across the sand, but Ronaldo's camel now matched its pace. The two legends raced side by side across the dunes, kicking up massive clouds of sand behind them. The crowd roared as the race became incredibly intense. At one moment Messi surged slightly ahead, guiding his camel smoothly over a steep dune. But Ronaldo pushed harder, leaning forward and urging his camel to accelerate. The training had worked. His camel responded instantly, charging forward with surprising power. Halfway through the race the two competitors were nearly neck and neck. The desert track twisted between dunes and rocky patches, testing both riders' balance and skill. Cameras captured every moment as millions of viewers watched the dramatic comeback unfold. Then came the final stretch. Ronaldo gave one last command, and his camel exploded forward with incredible speed. The powerful animal sprinted across the final section of the track, leaving Messi just a few meters behind. The finish line rushed closer. In a stunning moment, Ronaldo crossed the line first. The entire stadium erupted in shock and excitement. Fans jumped to their feet, cheering wildly as Ronaldo raised his arms in triumph. It was one of the most dramatic comebacks anyone had ever seen. The same camel that had looked weak and hopeless before had now become a champion. Messi crossed the finish line moments later, smiling despite the defeat. He rode over to Ronaldo and shook his hand, showing respect for the incredible effort and determination. The crowd applauded both legends, celebrating not just the race but the spirit of competition. But the story didn't end there. As the celebration continued, Messi suddenly grabbed a microphone and spoke to the cheering fans. "If Ronaldo can win a camel race," he said with a grin, "then maybe we should try something even crazier." The crowd leaned forward in anticipation. Messi pointed toward a massive circular ring that organizers had secretly prepared beside the arena. A sumo fight. The stadium exploded with laughter and excitement. The idea of two football legends wearing giant sumo suits and pushing each other inside a ring was so ridiculous that it instantly captured everyone's imagination. Ronaldo laughed too, but he quickly accepted the challenge. After all, competition between him and Messi had always pushed both of them to new and unexpected limits. As the sun began to set over the desert dunes, workers prepared the ring while the crowd continued cheering. Cameras remained focused on the two legends as they prepared for their next unbelievable battle. The rivalry between Ronaldo and Messi had already created countless unforgettable moments on football fields around the world. But here in the heart of the desert, riding camels and preparing for a sumo match, they had taken their competition to a level no one could have imagined. And as the desert sky turned orange with the setting sun, one question echoed through the excited crowd and across millions of screens worldwide. Who would win the next battle? Camel fire collision.